Не верьте всему, все, что там пишут там в интернете, насчет веса там и так далее. У меня все отлично, как никогда. Подрались как два алкоголика с Gaethje. И он думает, что он вернулся. А как он сможет свое вот это поражение, которое на всю жизнь очернило его с Конором Макгрегором, как он сможет его убрать? Такие поражения не убираются. Когда клетка закроется, я и Барбоза, мы одни останемся там. Идеальный итог для нас будет после этого боя. И с UFC тоже мы общались. 80-90% я дерусь с Тони Фергюсоном за пояс. Это будет март-апрель.
Back to the daily grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Hey yo, when I saw Khabib Nurmagomedov saying Justin Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez fought like alcoholics and that Eddie Alvarez will never be able to erase that loss to Conor McGregor, I thought one thing. This dude's hungry as fuck. He was saying that with attitude, and you know how you get when you're hungry, bro. You get fucking irritated, you're very irritable, and that's just what it seemed like with Khabib. He wasn't playing around with nobody. He was just speaking his mind. He was irritable. Like, man, them dudes fought like fucking alcoholics. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what I thought. I was like, yo, this dude might need a Snickers. But the problem is, he's got a weight cut coming up, and Khabib Nurmagomedov has notoriously had issues cutting weight down to 155 pounds. Now, he's going to be fighting in the co-main event of UFC 219 versus Edson Barboza, and he's starting to cut weight for that. I believe he started now. He said he's about 15 pounds. He also gave an update on his weight cut in another article. He said, I believe he's 15 pounds out now, but he's having a good weight cut. But at the same time, he's still in that weight cutting process, so you know he's probably a little hungry, which is essentially why he's snapping off. Khabib Nurmagomedov is usually very respectable. He's not a guy that comes out here trash talking. I don't think I've ever heard him calling somebody a fucking alcoholic, some stuff like that. Or he didn't really call him an alcoholic, but yo, he said they fought like alcoholics. When I seen the title of the article at first, I thought he was talking about how they kind of slur their words. You know, Justin Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez, that's what some of the UFC fighters kind of, when they were trash talking that fight, like both of those dudes are punch drunk and they slur their words. So when I seen Khabib Nurmagomedov said, or the article said Khabib called them alcoholics or whatever, I thought that's what he was referring to. But he said they fought like alcoholics. He's saying, yeah, it was a slugfest or a brawl, but it was sloppy. Let me see if I got the actual paragraph of what he had to say. I'll read it for you real fast. This is what Khabib Nurmagomedov had to say. They fight like two alcoholics, and he did say it in his language. This was translated. He said they fight like two alcoholics. Alvarez, he thinks he's back, but what is he going to do with this loss to Conor McGregor, which disgraced him for the rest of his life? How will he erase it? This loss cannot be removed. You know, a lot of these UFC fighters don't really give Conor McGregor the respect of, you know, the champ. He's never defended a belt. Some fighters think he's overrated because you know, it might be a little bit of jealousy involved. People feel like he might have got a little bit of catering or whatever the fuck the reason may be. So for Eddie, you know, if you think about Conor McGregor's rise and where Conor McGregor is today, I wouldn't say it's all on the shoulders of Eddie Alvarez, but he definitely would not be the champ if Eddie Alvarez had got the job done and did what a lot of people expected him to do. Some people going into that fight, and myself included, I was like, yo, this is going to be a real test for Conor McGregor. I mean, especially at lightweight. This is going to be his first fight at lightweight. We saw how the Nate Diaz fights went at welterweight, but at the same time, this was Conor McGregor fighting the lightweight champion, full training camp Eddie Alvarez. If people thought Conor McGregor could be exposed or would be exposed, Eddie Alvarez was supposed to have what it took to do it, as far as the wrestling is concerned, as far as the durability is concerned, and even as far as the size is concerned. But Conor McGregor went in there and does what he does and knocked Eddie Alvarez out, and Khabib Nurmagomedov, it's looking like we'll never forgive Eddie Alvarez for that, because that did make Conor McGregor the champ and arguably got him the fight with Floyd Mayweather. If Conor McGregor doesn't knock out Eddie Alvarez, maybe he doesn't go fight Floyd Mayweather, and maybe he's still in it. Who knows what the hell happens? I mean, it's some butterfly effect type shit. But with that being said, Khabib Nurmagomedov will never forgive Eddie Alvarez, and he went on to talk about his fight with Edson Barboza, and he said, when the cage closes, Barboza and I will remain alone. The perfect conclusion will be after the fight. We've spoken with the UFC, and if I win, I fight Tony Ferguson in March or April. Now, this is interesting. We've been hearing rumors of Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson in March or April, but just because we've been hearing those rumors rumors, and you know, get the fuck out of here. It's really hard for me to believe it, even though we've heard it from like Kenny Florian. He said that's what he's hearing. Somebody else, maybe even, well, Conor came out and said that he wants MMA next, but just because Conor wants MMA next doesn't mean it's Tony Ferguson. Now, what I will say is if Conor does fight Tony Ferguson, for one, the Khabib fight's not going to happen versus Tony Ferguson, but for two, if Conor fights Tony Ferguson, everybody's got to shut the fuck up, because most of these guys, the GSPs, I mean, just a lot of these people that are in a position of power in the UFC or are the biggest stars of the UFC, a lot of them take the lowest risk, highest reward fights. If Conor fights Tony Ferguson, that's the actual opposite in my opinion. The highest risk, lowest reward, as Tony Ferguson is going to be the least popular person, the least pay-per-views Conor McGregor's going to get of any of his fights, but it's going to be the most gratifying. Gratifying. It's gonna shut up the most people. People say Conor McGregor's never defended a belt. Tony Ferguson is a lightweight that's on a 10-fight winning streak. I mean, it would shut up essentially all of the Conor McGregor haters, except for the fucking guys like Super Cash that you're never gonna be able to shut all the haters up. So maybe Conor doesn't care, because if he does beat Tony Ferguson, people are gonna find a reason to hate. So why not get the most money possible? And if I was predicting it today before I get out of here, it's going to be hard for me to see Conor McGregor fighting Tony Ferguson, man. It's really hard. Lowest risk, high reward, and that's the opposite. But if he does, nothing but respect. That's the fight I would love to see. But with that being said, Khabib Nurmagomedov doesn't look like he's expecting that either, as he's targeting a fight with the interim champion Tony Ferguson in April or March. But if that is the case, Conor McGregor's going to probably have to get stripped sooner or later. That's going to be 3 to 4 months from now. What, 14 months of Conor McGregor being the champion without defending, and he's healthy. Fought Floyd Mayweather, been doing everything under the sun that doesn't include fighting. I mean, it is what it is, man. I've said enough on this video. Khabib Nurmagomedov's coming out, taking shots at Eddie Alvarez and Justin Gaethje, and he's ready to beat Tony Ferguson. He also gave an update on his weight cut. It's looking like he's doing some promoting. I mean, I've seen some Khabib articles on ESPN, all type of stuff. But with that being said, it's looking like Khabib Nurmagomedov is starting to do his media rounds for his big co-main event coming up at UFC 219, taking shots at Eddie Alvarez and Justin Gaethje, saying they looked like alcoholics when they fought. And he looked a little irritable, sounded a little irritable, maybe a little hungry. With that being said, that's the last article that did come out about Khabib that I've seen. I'm not going to do 3 separate videos on it, so I guess I'll just talk about it real quick right here. Is his coach talked about that tiramisu gate. And if you did see the video of the tiramisu gate when Khabib allegedly ate that tiramisu before his fight with Tony Ferguson when he missed weight, he said it was tradition. When we fight, we eat tiramisu. So I mean, that's a little scary to me. If you're talking about Khabib with the tradition and tiramisu, 15 pounds, he still got 15 pounds to cut, man. He's sounding a little hungry. Hopefully, if he does run into tiramisu somewhere, he can find a way to just take a nibble, you know. Maybe he can find a way to like cheat the tradition, like, hey, I still ate tiramisu, you know, because I just took a little fucking nibble. All right, man, it is what it is, man. Enough of the jokes. Can't wait to see Khabib Nurmagomedov fight, that's for sure. This is going to be one of the best fights on the card, the co-main event, and it's a non-title fight, so that should tell you something. Khabib Nurmagomedov, man, got a big fight. If he wins this fight, he could have a title fight coming up with Tony Ferguson, depending on what happens with Conor McGregor, man. But like I said, that's going to be crazy if Conor McGregor goes 13, 14 months without defending that belt and isn't stripped or something by then. Because if he's not fighting Tony Ferguson, I don't see Tony Ferguson defending his interim title. With that being said, I've said enough on this video. It is what it is. Let the full-time family know what the... I'm not saying that. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.
Так что, ну,
это будет для нас самый легкий бой.
Да, иншаллах. Ответь на вопрос, со стойкой как ты? Нормально, со стойкой я дружу. Я всю жизнь спаррингуюсь, братья, вы чё? Просто мою стойку еще, ну, я даже 50% не показал то, что я умею в стойке, в бою. Потому что я, ну, стойка это как бы, скажем, 50 на 50, да. Попадешь, ты выиграешь, попадет, тот выиграет, да. Надо быть чуть осторожным. А вот насчет борьбы, если я знаю, что я могу соперника перевести и переехать, зачем мне стоять в стойке и зарубаться? Для чего? Для меня это самое главное, это победа. Что после боя подняли мою руку, и я чтобы двигался дальше. Есть бойцы, которые хотят выйти там, показать зрелищный бой, такие как, например, Gaethje и Alvarez. То, что они показали, это для меня не бой. Я ее не считаю боем. Это как два алкоголика, да, набухавшие, там дрались в баре где-то, или где они там дерутся. Я это не считаю высококлассным боем. Да, это очень интересно. Я сам очень, смотрел это с большим удовольствием. Но как бойцы, они мне оба не понравились. Почему? Потому что надо думать о своем будущем тоже. Если ты проводишь такие бои в год пару раз, пропуская в бою 50 и более тяжелых ударов в голову, а потом, тебе жить надо. Тебе надо жить, тебе надо развиваться, имеется в виду, ты же не будешь всю жизнь драться в клетке. Так что надо мозги беречь.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.